There, I've seen it. I've seen the movie Flash. Hi everybody, I'm Meffistoe and welcome to my review for The Flash. The first few minutes will be spoiler free, so you can go and enjoy the movie or not go, depending on my review. And the second half of the video will be spoilerific if you don't care about The Flash, don't want to go, or don't care about the spoilers, and we'll decide, however the spoilers may be, if you want to go and watch this movie. Let us begin. There was a lot of hype going into this Flash movie. It's been done for a while now, and it's been delayed and delayed and delayed because of COVID, because of reshoots, because of all the wonderful stuff. Now, you may think about how much the budget is this, or you don't care about the budget, or you care for Ezra Miller's shenanigans, or don't care about Ezra Miller's shenanigans. I'm going to this review completely blank. First and foremost, this movie is about 2 hours long, and it's kind of divided right in the middle in terms of what's going on in the first half and then what's going on in the second half, and it does have some meaning. In terms of what do I need to watch in order to enjoy this movie, well, you kinda need to watch the Justice League, Wonder Woman a little bit, Batman vs Superman, and definitely Man of Steel. Or you can go into this fresh and not understand what is going on. In terms of the first half of the movie is heavily a Flash movie. It's definitely just a Flash with a little bit of cameos with the Justice League friends. It is the Batfleck kind of Batman, and you get to see Gal Gadot one last time. I think you see just both of them one last time. Like I said, the first half is very heavily just Flash. It is very heavily Ezra Miller. He carries this whole first half of the movie, which he should, because he is the hero. Although with a little bit timey-wimey, multiversey stuff, you get two Ezra Millers. Now I have to give it to the crew and the crew and the special effects crew, at least part of it. They did the whole two-man thing very seamless. The fact that you have two Ezra Millers on screen and you can't really tell the seams between the two, I like that. But that's just one point to the special effects crew, and I'll get to that in a moment. Second half of the movie relies heavily, and I do mean heavily, on Batman. It relies on Michael Keaton's Batman. Though he is not engrossly everything in that last half of the movie, the last half of the movie is very much the third Keaton Batman movie we didn't think we want to get, and we probably didn't get. And it all comes together at the end, maybe. As for acting, Ezra Miller is Ezra Miller. If you've seen the Justice League, Barry Allen, this is just like that. It's just more of the same. If you don't like Ezra Miller, this will be a problem for you to go and watch this movie, because he is dialed up to absolute 11. It is absolute 11. If you didn't like the Justice League with Joss Whedon or the Justice League with Zack Snyder, don't go to this film. Just do not go to this film. The downside, and it's still on a non-spoilerific territory, the CGI. Every single character CGI in this movie, when you've got the action moments, it is the most 2003, 2004, The Matrix Revolutions, The Matrix Reloaded kind of CGI, and it is absolutely terrible. And I cannot believe they had the two Ezra Millers, which genuinely the kind of seamless, and the utmost craziness of smooth textures and just awful. Have you ever seen The Matrix Reloaded kind of many Smith scenes with Keanu Reeves looking very CGI-y? Yeah, you would get a lot of that. If you heard or didn't hear, there are loads and loads of cameos in this movie. However, it is not, and I repeat, it is not Spider-Man No Way Home territory. Definitely heavily, let's call it Rogue One territory of CGI. If you really want to get into the details, stay for the spoiler half of this video. The music in this will make your member berries squish. And I do mean member berries, because one of the issues I have with this movie, it is very much heavily, heavily leaning on the fact that, oh, look at this thing. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, I remember this. I remember. I do not like it heavily leaning on the I members. The fact that you have a good seamless kind of score where you go back and forth between the old Batman score, which is absolutely the best Batman score, and the new kind of Flash score is great. However, everything revolving around it in terms of action and nostalgia, or nostalgia bait, as Young Ripper coined it before, just mind boggles how bad, or how, let's say not bad, but overt it is. So again, if you don't like member berries, if you don't like being dragged by your nose in terms of nostalgia, just give it a pass in terms of cinematic viewing. Overall, it was better than what I thought, and it's not the thing that will save Warner Brothers. Will this movie make a buck? I don't think so. They spend way, way, way too much on this, and it won't hold up. The problem is the same problem that Black Adam has, that Aquaman 2 coming up has, and Shazam 2 has. It just won't go anywhere. If you want to stick around for the spoilers, this is it. This is the time. If you don't, I bid you farewell, goodbye. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next review. Spoiler territory! First things first. The cameos. Yes, the cameos. If you're interested in the cameos, yes, there's a moment there. There's a moment that they did in the stupid time bubble, speed force, whatever, chrono bubble, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there's a moment there where they see everything collapses in front of them. I don't want to go deep into the spoilers because I want to keep this video short, but yes, you see cameos of every single, oh no, well, not every single one, but almost all Supermen. So you see Christopher Reeve Superman, Supergirl, the original ones, but they, like I said, they're heavily CGI'd. You see the George Reeves black and white Superman as well, and you get that little score at the, you get that tiny bit of score, so you just have that, like I said, that member berry. Oh, remember, George Reeves was originally Superman. And of course, you see Superman Lives, Nicolas Cage, Tim Burton project that was never going off the ground. And yes, you see him fight a giant spider, just like Kevin Smith told us.
And 3, he's got to fight a giant spider in the 3rd act.
Man, I loved fat Kevin Smith, not the skinny, annoying guy now. Like I said, spoiler territory, Batman gets killed, and the resolution of the world that they have where Zod is invading everybody, the world where Barry is kind of not the Barry from our world, the Barry from the new world, is you get to the point where there's a moment where he says, well, this world is lost. So Barry, the new Barry, or the weird hair Barry, the one that has a mom, that's the guy who loses his world because there is no Superman. Oh, surprise, Superman is really dead in this universe. And not only that, Kara is also dead. I mean, she gets killed over and over and over again, and the two Barrys can fix the timeline. It's the fixed time conundrum. They kind of set this up in a weird kind of way. They try to explain the whole Back to the Future timeline with the divergence of the timeline, and then they meet Michael Keaton's Batman, and he explains it, well, it's not like that. It's more complicated, and he basically explains string theory, but reinforces it with the fact that there are certain points in time where time kind of crosses and you cannot change that fixed point in time. And this is Warner Brothers out. This is the way that Warner Brothers kind of directed the story, I guess, to end everything, to end the Snyder Cut and the Zod storyline and how people hated that thing. That is kind of done with the wayside. They destroyed that world. They literally evaporated it from the world. They kind of said, well, this doesn't exist. This whole movie is literally trying to get you to watch Batman. Literally, the second half of the movie is all Keaton. Whether he is just the guy who saves the day, who gives you the information, he's the world's greatest detective. He's the guy that saves everything, and I liked it. It is it is very heavily leaning on the fact that he is a master of craftsmanship, but he's old. He is way too old to do all the action, and he does and is getting hurt because of it. And at the end, yeah, he is dead. But you have to wrap up that world. You have to close it. Everyone dies. Barry from that world dies, Kara from that world dies, and the Batman from that world dies. If you were wondering about Kara, yes, there are moments there where she shines because she is the Superman of that universe because Kal-El is dead. However, she is genuinely ineffective. She is not the girl boss in this movie. She is a powerful force in this movie, but she is not the driving force of this movie. Actually, the driving force of this movie is Ezra Miller. And he is the one saving her, and then she tries to save him without any success. Barry fixes up the timeline, but then he doesn't learn from his mistakes, and he tries to correct just a tiny little thing, and it kind of blows up in his face. And for the last thing, super secret cameo for this is, yeah, we get a third Batman in this movie. And what Batman did they tap in? Well, it's not Val Kilmer, and sadly, it's not Christian Bale. It's actually George Clooney. He is playing not Batman, he's playing Bruce Wayne, so we don't actually know if he's a Batman because it's just in the storyline. Terrible. And one last thing before we go. Yes, there is an end credit scene. Yes, it does involve Aquaman. There's a point in there where Barry says to Aquaman or to Arthur, "I've went to many worlds, but you are Aquaman in all of them." And I think that scene was shot much later. I do believe it kind of sets up Aquaman 2, because otherwise, if you don't say that if you don't say that Jason Momoa is Aquaman in every single universe, it kind of says, well, we can replace you. And we all know James Gunn is working on a whole brand new universe, which we don't know if Ezra Miller is going to be there. And we definitely know that Jason Momoa's Aquaman is not in it. There, I hope you enjoyed this spoilerific. I didn't go into all the spoilers, but just some of the spoilers that kind of irked me, and the stuff that they put in there is generally to wrap up that world, that entire world, and not continue with it. And of course, you get a little cameo of the Dark Flash. I'm not a comic book guy, but I do know the Dark Flash has some sort of interaction. Whether or not it belongs with the Flashpoint or not, I have no idea. But it's there for people who read comic books, and it's sadly another member Barry. It just doesn't have any effect on the continuum and on the story. It's just sort of a way to just destroy a world and not go back to it. Hope you liked this review, spoiler and non-spoiler, and I hope I made the decision to watch or not watch this movie easier. I'll see you on the next review.